Alrighty, hey traders, the video you're about to see today is just on technical analysis only, and I'm going to be giving you the short-term technical analysis on the stock market, oil, gold, silver, the mining sector as well too. This is just some short-term TA, what we could be expecting, and some important levels to look out for this week. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let's get straight into the video now. Let's actually start looking at we'll start with the stock market first. We'll go through the S&P 500 first. And by the way traders, people ask me, what programs do I use when I'm trading these markets? The programs that I use myself are one, TradingView. I like to use TradingView. I do this here, but I also use TC2000. Now I use TC2000 because I've got a $10,000 to $15,000 scanning program in TC2000 that helps me find my trading setup. So that's why I use TC2000, but you don't have to use TC2000 if you don't have it for that. You know what I mean? I just like to use TC because it helps me scan the markets for really good opportunities. So if you'd like to learn more about actually how my actual trading setup, then go to johnsfreegift.com. First link in the description. There's actually a free trading course, and then through there's 5 phases in there, and in that trading course, I'll actually teach you my trading system and stuff like that that's holding you back. So let's go have a look at the S&P 500 because we're still at this level right now. As you can see, this big long-term trend line that we're looking at right now. So if we have a look at the weekly chart, we are still at that level now, which is really, really interesting. We're still holding for the last 2 weeks. These are weekly candles. The last 2 weekly candles we've been hovering around strongly around that level through there, which has been really, really interesting. So if I if I open my chart back up a bit more here, you can see how that this line has definitely been a really, really, really strong and important line to the markets. So maybe, just maybe traders, we're getting very close towards the bottom. The last few videos I've done, like no one knows exactly when the bottom's gonna be, right? Is the bottom going to be when the market starts to capitulate? Now I did a video yesterday talking about the interest rates. Really interesting thing about the interest rates is, the interest rates are probably going to start to pull back a bit more. And so we're probably going to have maybe the second half of this year, maybe from now through the rest of this year, we're going to have lower interest rates, which is going to be probably bullish for the markets. So we're really at this level through here. And so if we have a look at the daily charts, we can see how we're actually at a bit of a double bottom here. We have a bottom through here, and then now we're at a bit of a double bottom through here. So the first port of call, there's actually a few levels that I'm looking at here. Firstly would be this 9 moving average, and that's actually not doing anything right now on this downward leg through here. So let me take that off the screen. The second sort of area that I'm looking at, there's actually a trend line coming down through here, as you can see, that the market's been respecting these last sort of couple of weeks. And as you can see, we're coming down through there. So we are at a bit of a double bottom right now, and that double bottom is also coming inside with a bit of a hammer in the markets. Now, how is the volume on? Because the volume can give a really good sort of telltale sign of what's happening through here. Now, guys, I'm looking at the short-term TA here, okay? So we do have a bit of a double bottom. That's actually not that big. How was the SPY? Let's actually look at the SPY because that's the ETF. Let's go look at the SPY. I'm just trying to see how was the volume. Yeah, it wasn't huge. Sometimes when you get these bottom, but you get a massive spike, sometimes that can signal a bit of a bottom. So look at this one right. Look at this one right back here. See how we're looking at the market dropping. See, it drops, and you get this reversal bar where it opens and it comes back down and comes back up and closes high. Well, that's the volume for this reversal bar here was actually That's the volume there. As you can see, very big reversal volume, but we actually didn't get that. here we've got a little bit of reversal volume here, and then you can see how, but again guys, it's just a reversal, it's a sort of a reversal volume there. So that's what I'm looking at through there. Let's go have a look at, so that's the S&P 500. The big key areas is do we start to pick back up through this level through here? So if I start to look at my 4-hour chart, let's actually have a bit of a, you can see the last 4 hours, actually even the last hour, right? We actually started to, okay, so I'm just noticing something now. You can see I'm actually doing this on the fly. As you can see, there's no pre-programmed here. I just turned the software on, and now I'm just doing my analysis. I'm actually doing it for myself, but you know, you guys are actually seeing what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at here right now is a few things. I'm noticing this here. So let me actually take that off the screen here for a minute. I'm just going to draw on the charts. I'm noticing this level here is indeed a level where the market definitely had a drop down. And oh wow, look at that. That actually could have been a trade there. Ooh, look at that. 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 SPX. Actually, let's go look at the. All right, I'm gonna. I'm just doing this live, guys. So just bear me for a minute. I'm just have a look at this thing here. Okay, cool. Strong down, slow up, strong down. Okay, cool. All right, let me go back to this point through here. So the thing I was looking at is that maybe this is going to be some sort of a short. We're looking at an alley chart here. This might be a bit of a short-term trend here, right? So if we have a look at this level through here, you can see how the market. Sometimes the market will do this at the end of trends. All right. So I've gone from the weekly charts to the daily charts, and now I'm actually chunking it down to the hourly charts now here. And now I'm looking at this level 3. You see how it actually broke down, but it came straight back up. What is this? What is this? If you look at the markets, when the market comes straight back down and it does that, what is that? Now, traders, this here is an hourly chart, okay? This could affect the next couple of days, but it's not the big picture, okay? The big picture is the weekly charts and daily charts. So what we're seeing through here is we're getting a V bottom after it broke after it actually broke a low. Again, this is an hourly chart, so it spent like a good amount of time here, then broke down, then broke back up. So that's actually quite a bullish sign for the S&P 500. So what depends on what actually happens tonight when the market opens up. If we can start to get something like this, where the market actually goes back up again, but then comes back down, and then starts to get this higher low, then we could actually start to see the S&P 500 back up towards the 4,100 level through here, because now we have the V bottom, but this is also a false breakout, right? Or a false breakdown, if you want to call it that, right? So the support level, support level, support level, and then we have the big move down and a big move back up. Now we're getting this level here where we're getting a few things in place. So it's going to be really interesting to see whether this V bottom still continues to want to kick in, because we're not out of the woodworks yet when it comes to that on the S&P 500. Let's look at the Nasdaq. And the Nasdaq is on a very similar situation to what I was saying before. You can see, looking at the longer term trend line on the Nasdaq is still very, very, very. I wonder what that trend line has actually moved a little bit. That's not the exact trend line that I want to use for myself. I wonder if there's something going on. I'm trying to get the most touches, so it's possibly something going on through there. It's probably an error, right, guys? Like it's not exact, because we're missing this point through here, but we definitely got a lot of touches all through here through 2018 and 2019. We definitely got a lot of touches through there. We definitely got a lot of rejection all through there. But as you can see, right through here, we actually just pop back up and we pop back down, and we had a lot of sort of support resistance through there. So it's probably more like an area of looking at this here. So it actually might be slightly above through here, slightly above, but it's around that area where the Nasdaq is. Now the Nasdaq is down a lot. If we have a look at this sort of the levels that it's at, let's go look at the Fibonacci level. Right, the Nasdaq is actually retraced 50%, which is actually a healthy correction, guys. Now here's the interesting thing. What can happen? The market can retrace what it's done, 50% of this entire move. Okay, so it's done that. But this overall thing, if we look at the monthly charts, and if we go to the monthly charts, what if? Okay, what if? And this actually could be a possibility, right, guys? So please don't rule this out. I know, but the fundamentals, the debt, okay, that monkey brain that's saying that cannot happen. Please, guys, please push that aside, okay? Because anything can happen. That's the biggest lessons that I've learned in my trading career is we know shit, right? So we always need to look at the possibilities of, this actually could happen. And now we're actually getting, if you actually look at the monthly charts, what is the monthly chart telling you? This is actually a very big booming bull market, and we're just getting a nice, and we've got a 50% retracement. Now, maybe that's all the Nasdaq's going to give us before, over time, we actually start to see something like this. Maybe, just maybe, right? We've got a healthy 50% retracement, and then now we actually see possibly something like that. I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, by the way, guys, but if that's going, if we're looking at this monthly charts, okay, cool, that's what the monthly chart's telling us. What would be some of the keys to say, okay, maybe we're on our way back up to all-time new highs? Maybe this we're getting right now is the end of the move. Now, the big thing I'm noticing now is so many people are bearish these markets. I'm getting so many people, all right, saying these markets it's done, it's all so on and so forth. So it's now getting towards, we're getting very, very close towards the bottom. I don't know how the bottom's going to create. But if we go to the weekly charts, once again, we can start looking at these weekly charts and also back down to the daily charts, right? And we can start to see whether we do start to see an upward trend through here. So that's actually really a significant, let me take that off the screen there. That was that Fibonacci level. But that's a really significant level now. And you can see here, we've also got a double bottom as well too. So on a short-term level, this is the double bottom. And if we have a look at some sort of a projection line, that's actually, let me go back to the hourly chart here for a minute. You can also see the same thing for the Nasdaq, right? We had this significant low down the bottom here, maybe even down through here somewhere, but we're getting this potential V bottom. If we do, we could start to see a move back up towards this level through here. This is the hourly chart. If we go back to the daily charts now, we can see how that, again, double bottom. So on a short-term level, this is on a short-term level. If the market breaks that level through there, we've got the double bottom. Then we could also see a potential. Let me just get a. Let me just get a little projection tool out. So we go from there to there, and then we have it from there to there, right? And then we actually project that up. And yeah, we're looking at that next resistance level. So there's a few things that's happening in play, right? If this hourly chart right now is indeed the end of the move, right? We're getting the V bottom before we start to head back up. If that is the case, then we're probably going to start to see a move back up towards the 12,600 level, right? Because now, remember I said before, we have this V bottom here. So if we get something like this, there's a real high probability we're going to start to make our way back up to 12,600 on the Nasdaq. And remember, but that's also the big double bottom, or that double bottom formation on the daily charts. So if that happens and we break this level here, the actual projection is actually back up here towards the 13,600 level. So very, very interesting stuff they're looking at on the Nasdaq. Let's go look at the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones, the longer term trend line for the Dow Jones is definitely broken past that level there. Maybe I have the angle wrong, I don't know, but you can see how it's definitely broken past my long term trend line there. So let me just actually remove that because that's no longer valid anymore in the markets. So yeah, so we can see it through there. Once again, if we actually have a look at the daily charts, it's definitely not a double bottom. We've got that reversal candlestick bar here, but that's nothing at significance for me on the Dow Jones because it's not a double bottom. It's not a strong reversal bar. Look at this one back here, right? Let's actually look at the volume here. Remember I said before about volume? I can't get the volume on that. Dow Jones says no volume for you, mate. All right, I can't. All right, there we go there. Okay, so we can't get the Dow Jones on the volume there. And then let's have a look at the Russell as well too. And the Russell's doing, once again, sort of the same thing. The Russell's already had that very significant overall big pullback. And we're actually at a major level of support through here on the Russell. So the big key here is what's going to happen. What's going to start to happen through here. Let's go to the 4-hour chart here for a minute. Okay. And this is the hourly chart I'm looking at now. All right, so this is the hourly chart I'm looking at. Let's go back to the daily chart. What I'm looking at here, guys, I'm going to go a bit advanced here on you for a minute, but the way I look at the market is angles, okay? And I try to see sort of where are the angles in the markets. Angles are everything, and what I mean by that is this: is that let me actually just take everything off the screen here for a minute. When I'm looking at the chart here, I'm looking at, okay, where are the strength in the moves? Okay, so if we have like this one here, we had a strong move down, but then notice we had this sort of a weak move up, right? So strong move down, a slow move up. What does that equal? What does that generally mean? We generally get a very continuation, right? So same thing for here: strong move down, weak pullback, get the move up, down. So I'm trying to see what's going on here right now, and maybe this overall thing is just a very weak pullback. This is going to be a low, a significant higher low on the Russell. Now again, I'm looking at the 4-hour chart. So if we can start to break above that'll be that high level through there. But the first level would definitely be that level through there, because this whole thing could be a low and then a significant higher low through here. We could be holding this level, and if we have a look at the Fibonacci levels, we can see how that we're actually right at that level of 50 to 60% retracement. So this actually could be getting ready to have a very nice move back to the upside. We definitely do have this trend line here, which is going to be a bit of a pain, a bit of a rejection for, a bit of a problem for the Russell, but that's actually what we're looking at there. But we're looking at this, again, double bottom formation here. And again, this is the 4-hour chart. If we go to the hourly chart, you can see it's a bit more, it's not as clear as well too, but again, got this significant double bottom in the markets as well too. So that's what we're looking at through there on that. So it's the big key for the Russell is that if we can start to break above that sort of 1,838 level, then that's going to be the level we actually start to see this market actually start to move to the upside from there. Let's go have a look at oil, and let's go to the daily charts with oil. Let's have a look what's actually going on with oil here. So lately with oil, there hasn't been really any strong trend, there hasn't been any strong trend or any strong momentum. Okay, so you'll notice this is what happens a lot of the times with markets. If markets have very big moves up, they end up just going sideways, and they just rest for a while, and then they start to make a big move again. But if we start to have a look at this here, we are starting to potentially, like, we're getting this low, high, low, high, low through here, high, higher, high. We're getting these higher highs and higher lows through here. So maybe we're starting to get ready for a bit of a breakout. If I'm actually looking at the levels, that's that major resistance level through there. And we are starting to potentially sort of squeeze up through that level through there, as you can see. So a very big sort of strong squeezing up pattern, as you can see through here, right? We are getting a bit of a strong pullback right now. So the overall thing that I'm seeing is like what actually happens through here. So let's go to the 4-hour chart here for a minute. Let's go back to the hourly chart. So the hourly chart's giving us a bit of a different sign here, but if we go back to the 4-hour chart, you're trying to get a bit of a guidance here, right? So yeah, we're not getting any strong indication. Let's go to the weekly chart here for a minute. So there's a couple of different scenarios that I'm seeing right now, even from a weekly chart perspective. The weekly chart perspective, we actually got a very sort of strong trend line, strong trend line up through here. So the question is, are we going to break out? And if we do break to the upside, this actually could be getting ready for another move back up. But these triangle patterns can also be reversal patterns. So if we start to actually get depending on where the breakout is, right? So if we actually get a bit of a breakdown like that, then that's going to equal that through there. I'll give you an example. So it was SIL. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about there. Let's go back to the daily charts here for a minute, right? So you can see here that we had on the SIL. Let's actually just remove all that. Right, on the SIL, we had this sort of squeezing up pattern through here. It wasn't exactly a trend line, but we had that sort of squeezing up pattern. And then you can see once we actually broke to the downside, then the sort of the free fall happened. Let's go have a look at gold. And gold is definitely, if we have a look at those longer term trend lines that I've got here right now, gold is definitely, I don't need these lines through here. I've got too many trend lines on the chart right now. We know that's through there. So these are the two main trend lines I want to use, right? So you can see I've got this main trend line down the bottom here. If we did start to fall down, that would be a bit of a support level. But also the last sort of couple of years, we've had a very sort of strong level of support where we are through there. So let me actually take that off the screen. Let me actually try to keep it really simple. I don't like to keep too many trend lines on my charts. So we can see ever since 2020, right, we had this sort of low through here, low, and you can see it's bouncing all through these areas through here as well. So that's where this main trend line here is coming through. But then we also have this other trend line, right, where we had this major high through here, and then we looked at this sort of relevant peaks through here and here, and we're actually getting a bit of a strong support level through there. So there's a bit of a couple of support levels coming into play right now when it comes to the gold chart, and that's the reason why you can see we're getting like a bit of reversal in the markets now. We actually had a strong move down, but we're getting reversal. So we could continue seeing a very nice move up, but the trend hasn't changed it on the short term anyway when it comes to gold. The very big positive things that's happened with gold is we've broken out of this level here now, as you can see. Like that was that downward leg. We're broken out, so we could possibly start to see a bit of an upward leg. What we want to see is we want to start to see the buyers start to come back in and start to create some sort of a trend. So if we do get this sort of action, but then we start to get a bit of a trend, like let's get a low, a higher low, broken past. Let's actually start to get something like that, and then maybe we're going to start to see a significant move up. So, and that goes alongside with all the other markets as well too. Until we get a significant like trend change, like higher lows and so on and so forth, then it's not going to. We're not going to get a very significant move, right? We may get a very strong rally, but we're not going to see all-time new highs in the stock market and stuff like that. Same with gold as well too. We need to get that significant high, and same for the silver as well too. Silver, this actually could be some sort of a strong V bottom through here, I take that back. I'm just squeezing up right now. So we're actually major level of support where silver is, and we've got this massive leg down and a very big strong move up. That's actually interesting, isn't it? Because silver's actually not looking too good. Like I'm looking at this 4-hour chart, and this is actually a very, very weak move up, right? We're getting this sort of slow sort of grind up. The interesting thing looking at silver is let's actually use that high through there. Is I'm looking at this 4-hour chart. We had this low, higher low, higher low. On the 4-hour chart, we can see how we're definitely squeezing up into this pattern. The interesting thing about this is that if you remember what I said about the SIL, now I'm going back to the hourly chart now, and if you can see here, this is the hourly chart that definitely had a pullback, come down, pullback. If we create some sort of a lower high here, and we start to this does this, and then we start to break out. Well, then guess what? Now we're actually, this sort of upward movement is coming to an end, right? There's definitely no trend even on the hourly chart. But if we do break out through here, if we do get something like that, let's actually draw that in. So we draw something like that. Say we get that, for another hour. You can see the market's actually open now, and then we get that, right? We get a nice breakout bar like that. Then if we go back to our 4-hour chart, we can see how that this overall thing here right now is really a bit of a pullback, right? Because we're getting this down move through here, but then we're just getting this very slow move up. We are getting a lot of higher highs and higher lows, but they're not strong, right? Look at that there. It's just sort of, it made this high, made a higher low, but it had problems at the level, and now we're coming back down through here. So we can see that's what happens. So if silver does start to break out on that hourly chart, then I wouldn't be too surprised to see silver then start to head back down towards these lows through here, which actually I'm gonna make that a little bit of a flag, because that's actually a setup I'm gonna be watching for. I wonder if I can add a price alert. Silver. Silver 1 hour. Show pop up. That's pretty cool. All right, so I'm just going to create alert. All right, cool. So I've just created the alert from that level through there. And the reason why is what I've just said through there. So that's gonna alert me that I'm gonna get a possible trade out of that, especially if I can start to go down to a bit more. So awesome. I did a potential trade setup. Anyway, I still need to double check all my rules when it comes to moving averages and stuff like that. So let's go now have a just another quick little update when it comes to the to the interest rates. We know that the interest rates are definitely starting to peak out. We're definitely creating a rounding top formation, head and shoulder, right? We're getting this sort of shoulder, head, shoulder, rounding top formation. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see the interest rates start to pull back now. I've been saying that now for the last few weeks. No, not the last week, probably the last week or two now. I've been saying, okay, look, we're starting to peak out through here. We can see even on the 30, we actually got a close below that level through there. As you can see, we're getting a close below that level through there. Make that trend line exactly where it should be, which is right there, right? Let me take that off the screen. And so you can see what's happening through here now. We're definitely breaking out on the downside through there. This is the 4-hour chart. Go back to the daily chart. You can see we definitely got a breakthrough there. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see this now. And we are creating now a high, a lower high, and we're at this level through here. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see the interest rates start to actually break back down through there. Let's go have a look at some of the actual the gold mining stocks. So GDX, the big thing. Let's take a look at the weekly chart on the GDX. This is just a big massive false breakout. This is something. As this breakout was happening, I'm just like, I want to see this. I want to see a significant higher low. Remember I was saying before, if you've watched this entire video, that we're looking at. I'm looking for the market to create a significant higher low, right? We need something to move up and a move down and a significant higher low. We got this big move up, and I was looking for that higher low. And if you remember, I was saying that once we get this is when the meat and potatoes is going to happen with that. That's what I want to see. It just didn't happen, right? Just didn't happen. Strong move up, strong move down, and that's what happened with the GDX through there. So that's actually a really interesting thing that through there. Again, guys, we really it's the mining sector's just been absolutely decimated. We really need to see some sort of strength out of this level through here on that GDX. Let's have a look at the GDXJ as well. Let's go take everything off the screen here. Okay, so if we have a look at that there, we definitely did have a strong level of support going on through here, as you can see. So we're at that level of support, but again, no one is in control right now. Absolutely no one. We're getting a support level here, a high, and another support level here. So there's really no one in control. This point through here, this point through here, this point through here, and this point through here. So there's no true trend through there. And then, but if we look at the daily charts, we've just been getting absolutely just thumped through here. So there's no good strong potential out of the mining sector right now. So looking at, again, this is, I was just thinking about the big picture, but I want to try and keep this as short term as possible of what's happening right now. So we are getting a rally. This may come back up and then get ready to have another thump through there. So we may get something like this come up and close this gap, and then we actually start to roll over. But the thing is this, is that there's a couple of different scenarios. If it does come up and close the gap, what happens afterwards? Do we do this and then start to roll back over? That's what's probably going to happen. Okay. Scenario number 2 is that, do we actually come back up here, right? Come back up like that, and then we have a bit of a pullback, and then we do something like this, and then we start to head back up like that. If that happens, okay, now we're starting to change the tune of the market again, right? Or the tune of the mining sector is actually changing. So this is what this. If we start to get something like this over the next few weeks, then that's going to be really bullish for the GDX. The GDX on there as well too. So let's go have a look at some of the. Actually, I'll just give you an update. I'm really still focusing on this. What's this? Man, USD JPY. I'm losing it today. Don't you hate it, guys? A bit of a side note. Don't you hate it when you're going through life and you're making things happen and things are moving, and then suddenly the market life smacks you, and it's like, you get sick a little bit. Man, I just hate it. I just want to. That's what happened to me today. It's like, man, But you know, that's the way of life, just simply telling you you need to slow down a little bit, and that's what happens. That's what's happened with me. So, you know, looking at this USD JPY, I'm starting to see this. We're actually in a bit of a downward trend right now on the 4-hour charts, where we are right now. If you remember, I talked about a trade that I did last week when the market was going sideways through here. I alerted you guys, and then I had a really nice trade that come down through here. So that was a really nice trade. Now we're getting another pullback. This could be another significant lower high, right? So we have this high, lower high. This could be another lower high, and we're getting this sort of pullback. So if we do start to break down here, that doesn't look like much because this is a 4-hour chart. This actually could at least have a break back down through to here. Now, there's a few stages, all right? There's a few things that I'm watching on this USD JPY. The first thing is that I'm looking at this level through here. Now we're getting, again, if you've watched this entire video all the way through, you'll know that I'm all about angles in the markets. So we can see we had a strong move down, and now we're getting this overall sort of weaker move up. If for some reason, you can see we had a bit of a strong move up through here. If for some reason this comes down like this, right, and then we start to get a breakdown, and the key level for me would be somewhere around that through there, right? That'll be the key level for me. In fact, I'm going to create a price alert for that one. So let's actually create settings. Oh, no. Hey. Add alert on trend line. Only once, yes. It's going to be USD JPY. I'm going to create. Okay, cool. So now I've created that. I'm also going to flag that as well too, because I want to keep an eye on that. Because once we start to break below there, this could be looking at this level through here. If we do get something like that, like something like this, and then we get a breakout, this is going to be a move down. We've had a bit of a double top, a lower low, and now this is a pullback. And if we get that, we could start to see something like this happening from on there. So, but again, guys, I'm not going to take a trade based on what I just said through there. I need to confirm it with looking at some other trends, or looking at like the hourly charts as well too, and also looking at the moving averages and stuff as well too. But I'll confirm that if we end up starting to get a bit of a breakout. Let's go have a look at the good old Bitcoin. Let's go have a look at the daily charts. And Bitcoin has just been absolutely horrible. And here's the thing about Bitcoin. If we don't get some sort of a break up soon, then we're probably going to go see another leg down out of this level through here. And so you can see what's happening through here. So we're getting this sort of movement. If we continue through here, and we've got this 20 moving average coming down like that, as you can see, we may end up getting something like that happening. Right, something like that. Right, something like that happening in the Bitcoin sort of sector through there. Right, so we have this movement down. We're getting this sort of sideways movement through here, and if we do get a strong breakdown, then that actually could be really, really, really powerful for a move on the downside. And then we're probably going to see more downside coming out of the crypto market. So there's no strength here at all when it comes to the Bitcoin market. Same for the Ethereum as well too. Ethereum's doing the exact same pattern, and this is a pattern that actually I love trading. Right, we get something like this, the moving average comes down like that, and then we get a breakdown bar. Guess what? We're probably going to see a bit of a move to the downside. Let's go to Neo. Neo was I had a trade on Neo. I talked about this, as you guys know. If you've been watching me for the last few months, you know I've mentioned Neo, of how it's probably going to break down. We did that. I had a beautiful trade through there. Especially breaking this level of support, as you can see, coming back up, come back down. But the same thing for Neo as well too, is that it's right now, it's actually not looking too good. So if we do continue this, again, this is a daily chart. If we do continue this here and the market moves down, and then suddenly we get a breakdown bar, the same sort of thing that's probably going to happen through there. So there's a bit of a wrap up, guys, for the markets that I'm looking at right now, and some things that I'm keeping in the back of my mind. As you can see, I had Neo highlighted before. I don't need to highlight that anymore because I had a trade already from that there, and it was a beautiful trade. I've still got my USD JPY highlighted through there because that's that pattern I was talking about before in the markets. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make this even longer. Let's actually go through. If you do need some help, guys, make sure you grab that free trading course with the link in the description. because especially if you're struggling right now and you're losing a lot of money and you don't know why, then phase number one is all about the biggest mistakes you're making and how to overcome them so you can actually make progress in the markets. Let's go have a look at some of the stocks. All right, let's actually just go look at some stocks here. I know this is actually a bit longer for you guys, but I'm trying to go deep into what I'm seeing through here. So let's go have a look at Apple. Apple has definitely had a very, very strong move down. So we may get a bit of a bounce here. How is the volume here with Apple? Yeah, it wasn't too big. It wasn't a strong reversal. Look at this back here, right? Notice how when the market, this is actually it's a very, very, very powerful pattern, traders. If the market's dropping down and then you get a very sort of strong reversal candlestick, but then you actually get an increase in volume, that's actually a very good short-term trading system. I love trading it myself. Whenever I see it, I'm just like, oh, look at that, right? And you can see it actually did nothing for a few days, and then we actually start to get a bit of pop. But again, it's a short-term trading system. A lot of these sort of setups, what I just mentioned through there, right? You can see here that it's dropping. We get a strong reversal candlestick pattern, and all that simply means is that we're actually going through. We open high, we come down, and we come all the way back up, and we close high. It's looks like a hammer, right? If you think about it, this is the handle, and this is the noggin. The noggin. Even when I'm sick, I can say noggin. So we can see that through there, and if we have a look at the weekly charts, then we can see how that on the weekly charts, we're actually not looking too good. We were in a very strong upward trend, but things have changed. So any short-term pullback, there's a very, very strong area of support at 110. But if we do rally, guys, the big area for me that if we do rally out of this level through here, out of the let me take off this volume here for a minute, out of Apple, then it's probably going to there's a lot of resistance around that 151 level through there. Let's go have a look at Tesla, and Tesla has been absolutely thumped. Tesla's actually not looking too good. We had a very strong move up overall. We had a very strong move down. Lots and lots of volatility. So I wouldn't be too surprised to actually see maybe Tesla start to have a bit of a turnaround. But again, it's not. It's the sellers are in control through here. So there's no change of trend through here, and we're definitely getting a strong pullback out of Tesla. And this is why you don't trade fundamentals, guys. Right? Because you know what this gap here was. This gap here was really, really, really good earnings announcement. And then the market gets crumbled. You're like, what? Let's go have a look at that weekly chart here for a minute. Again, the weekly chart gives you the forest from the trees. And yeah, that's looking there. Now it's starting to look really ugly, look at it. Right? We had this high, low, low, and a lower low. So we could get something like that and then more downside to come. It's actually not looking too good. Netflix has been absolutely just decimated, as you can see. Yeah, I won't be touching Netflix anytime soon, so I'm going to forget that. Looking at Microsoft, there's actually a bit of a. I know there's actually a bit of a support level through. Let me do array, right? So if we do end up continuing down in the markets, this would be a very significant level for Microsoft. If we do end up just continue down overall in the markets for the rest of this year. So that'll be very, very, very sort of strong key area that I'm watching for on Microsoft. If we have a look at the levels through here, there's a very sort of strong level of support around that $273 level. So the interesting thing looking at Microsoft is that once we start to get back above this level through here, or if we do, then if we do get something like this coming out of this and we get a breaker back up, if we can start to get a break back down and we start to see a new upward trend, breaking out of this level, then that actually could start to see a lot more bias coming back in here. But remember, traders, if we do get a move up like this, we've had a move down. If we do get a move up like this week across a lot of the markets, then that's all it is. What we need is a significant higher low for the meat and potato move to come. So let's go have a look at Adobe. Let's look at Adobe. Again, Adobe has just been absolutely just crushed. But once again, looking at Adobe, we definitely have that sort of strong level of support around the 422. And we have actually broken back below here. So maybe Adobe is getting ready for at least some sort of a pullback, right? Because we've had this very big move on the downside, and it's just, yeah. So if we get back above 422 on Adobe, that's that level through there. Or if we get back above 420, then I would say the next level, it's probably going to start to have a nice move back up towards. Looking at that, let's erase. All right, let's do that through there. Right, we could probably have a move back up towards the 470 level if we start to get that through there, right? So we can see here we have this sort of low. We could be getting a higher low through here. So if we start to get something like this on Adobe, then that could start to see possibly a nice little short-term move, and there may be a bit of a short-term trade through there. Let me actually start to go through the. Okay, so that's the 4-hour charts. This is the hourly charts. Okay, I see you. Right. So we had a low. If we actually start to break back above these key levels of support levels through here, we have a low, a higher low. Okay, so actually, let me actually put a bit of a highlight on that. I want to keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on that there, because we may get a move up, and then from that I actually may have a trade. Let's go have a look at Amazon. And Amazon has been absolutely just decimated, but Amazon is right at a strong level of support. This is one stock I'm really excited about, because it's just had such an overextended move on the downside that we could be getting a very sharp, hard and fast snapback, at least on a trend analysis basis. And we can see what we have through here, right? So we could be getting ready for a very sort of a move back up towards that level through there. We definitely do have, right, if we have a look at trend lines, we definitely have a big sort of strong trend. So the Amazon would have to get back above this trend line for it to start to be really bullish. But on a short-term level, we could start to see, let's go to the 4-hour chart. Oh, look at that there. And we go back to the hourly chart. I'm just watching this through here. So we have this sort of low point through here. This could be a higher low. Let's go back to the 4-hour chart. I'm just looking at the trend analysis. That's all, guys. That's all I'm looking at. Right now, my eye is here, because I'm trying to see what is the actual trend. We've got a big move down, big move down, big move down. This is the 4-hour chart. This could be a low. This could be a higher low. So if we actually start to break above that 2,300 level, then it does look like that we could start to see a move back up with Amazon around that sort of 2,800 level. So again, that doesn't look like much, but when you're looking at that, that's around a 20% move in Amazon. And when you're using options, then that could be anywhere from 100 to 200% return, depending on the volatility of that move. So that's actually something. All right, I'm gonna highlight that one. You can see, guys, I'm just doing my analysis on the fly. Normally, when I'm just doing this, I'm just checking this out here. So that actually could be. I'm getting ready for, again, because I know this blue line here is that major level of support. If we start to get that higher low, we can start to see a very strong move back to the upside. So I like that. eBay. eBay has just been getting hot. eBay is horrible, isn't it? We definitely are at that strong level of. We've had those levels of support in the past, haven't we? So that level through there in the past, and probably through this level through here. So we're definitely at this major level of support. But again, you don't want to be getting too bullish until we actually start to see some sort of trend analysis. You can see back here, right? When did the trend really start to happen? Is when we started to get these higher lows through here. So I wouldn't be getting too excited about. There's actually nothing to be excited about when it comes to eBay. Right, again, we probably want to see a move up, a move down, and a continuation from there. So anyway, traders, there we go. There's a in-depth market update for you. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video.